indeed. Glad to have Malachi here with me this morning for the beginning of our show, and glad that you were with us as well on this Wednesday Kids Day edition of Take 5 with GPS. As you know, we're in the midst of our series highlighting Black excellence throughout the entire month of February, and I'm so delighted that you're sharing in this experience with me, and hopefully you are sharing these videos with your friends, your network, so that others can sing with us and learn about the amazing contributions of our Black forefathers and foremothers. Today we move into the world of poetry, and we highlight an iconic poet who really paved the way for people like Amanda Gorman to do what she's doing today. Our poet first, though, is going to be Malachi, because Malachi has a poem that he wrote for school that he wants to share with you. So I'll turn it over to you, son.
Winter by Malachi. Very warm, hot chocolate. Very cold, fluffy snowflakes. Hip, hip, hooray. Icicles and snowmen. I love winter.
Awesome. Thank you, son. I appreciate you sharing that poem with us there. I love winter. And it's just a reminder, Malachi 7, and that's the age that our poet today started writing poetry as well. Her name is Gwendolyn Brooks. And if you don't know much about her, I'm just thrilled to be able to share more about her life and her poetry, and also this wonderful kids-friendly book by Suzanne Slade that we'll lean into in just a moment. But as is our tradition here, let's take a moment here and make sure we're ready to embrace the day. So I want to encourage you to wiggle your toes and ground them into the floor beneath you there, and just feel that connection to the earth through your foundation of your place where you're living. And then I encourage you to lengthen your spine. I want to invite you to take your hands here and just reach up with an inhalation and swim it out with an exhalation. And let's do that one more time. Reaching up, inhale, swim it out. One more final time, and this time I want to encourage you to fold over, whether you're sitting or standing, and touch the floor or as low as you can go. So reaching up and in, exhale it out, fold over. Sorry you can't see me, but you can hear me. Stretch out the lower back there, keep breathing, and just slowly unfold and let the vertebrae stack one on top of the other. I think it's so important that we take time 3 or 4 times each day to do some kind of deep breathing and stretching, just to make sure that we are attending to our bodies. Self-care. Let's get our voices going this morning here. Since Malachi shared about winter, it is cold out there for many of us. Let's do our little like it's chilly. We can even add gestures to it. You want to go there. Let's do one more of these. Since our theme today is poetry, we're going to sing that word. Poetry. 1, 2, 3, 4. Poetry. 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 One more. Poetry. I love a good poem. I love a good poem. Ready? Here we go. I love a good poem. 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 One more. I love a good poem. That's one of those words that's a regional dialect. I'd love to hear you say the word poem, to hear that second sound, to see where it goes there. Just an interesting thing that kind of caught me off guard singing it. Well, delighted, as I mentioned, to talk about Gwendolyn Brooks today. who is our featured figure. She was born in June of 1917, lived until December 2000, a poet, author, teacher. Her work often dealt with the personal celebrations and the struggles of people, particularly those in her community, her life. She wrote a lot about her life there in Chicago, outside of Chicago. She was the first Black person to win a Pulitzer Prize for poetry for her second book, Annie Allen. She also was the poet laureate in Illinois, and then was named to be the poet laureate consultant in poetry to the Library of Congress in 1985-86. Became the first Black woman inducted to the American Academy of Arts and Letters. Interesting, what I want to share with you about this book, this kid's book, which I do encourage for all ages, is it chronicles her life. The fact, as I mentioned, she grew up with a home full of poems. And every night her dad would read those poems, and she has great memories of her father's voice, which encouraged her to write. So at the age of 7, she started writing her own poems. And her mother one day said, "You are going to be the Lady Paul Laurence Dunbar." If you don't know that name, another great Black poet. And he happened to be her favorite poet. She would sit on her back porch. She says, "I was at my happiest sitting out on the back porch, looking out at the western sky with all the beautiful changing clouds, just to dream about the future, which was going to be ecstatically exquisite, like those clouds." And the whole book chronicles her journey writing through her teens, entering competitions, getting her work published in newspapers. But then the Great Depression happened and everything dried up, which led the inspiration to one of her books, The Bean Eaters, the poems rather, The Bean Eaters, because for every night they would eat beans. And it took her many years before she would be published again. And boy, when she took off, she took off. She mentioned she didn't make a lot of money with her poetry, but boy, it sure brought her a lot of joy. And as I mentioned, she wrote about life in Bronzeville. 14 books, including a children's book, and many poems. Gwendolyn Brooks, wonderful person. You can see her quote there, "Poetry comes out of life." And today, oh, thank you, Ethan, for reminding me. I wanted to read one of her poems to lead to our song of the day. This is the manuscript of Clouds, which she wrote when she was 15. Here's the poem. "Oh, when I look into the sky and see those quiet clouds, now all arrayed in fleecy white, now dressed in colored shrouds, it seems I cannot draw my eye from that rich heaven land, and drinking in the wide expanse, I filled with rapture stand. Unheedful of my transfixed state, they float serenely by, those stately clouds, calm sentries of the sky. How can I fear to leave the earth when heaven holds this glow? Cloud-colored happiness and peace await me there, I know." She wrote that in April of her 15th year of life. So in honor of that great poem and all that she's done, we're going to sing a great song that comes out of activism, out of the African American spiritual tradition, the Negro spiritual tradition, called "Over My Head." And we're going to put gestures with it today, and I've modernized it just a little bit. So it's going to sound like this. Over my head, I hear music in the air. Over my head, I hear music in the air. Over my head, I hear music in the air. Oh, I really do believe a change is coming somewhere. Here's the next one. Over my head, I hear singing in the air. Over my head, I hear singing in the air. Over my head, I hear singing in the air. Oh, I really do believe a change is coming somewhere. Over my head, I see movement in the air. Over my head, I see movement in the air. Over my head, I see movement in the air. Oh, I really do believe a change is coming somewhere. First verse. Over my head, I hear music in the air. Over my head, I hear music in the air. Over my head, I hear music in the air. Oh, I really do believe a change is coming somewhere. Great song, a powerful, positive message. Let's keep hearing that music, looking to the clouds. Let's keep putting our words down on paper, talking about our life and our experiences so that others can learn and grow from us. Take some time to learn more about Gwendolyn Brooks. You can find this book, Exquisite, written by Suzanne Slade. Share it with your young people in your life. Have a fabulous Wednesday, everybody. Look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. Be well.